This is a description of what I use for my smartphone for those who are interested in having more privacy. What I have here is Lineage. It's called Lineage operating system. It's a modified version of Android. Uh, the phone I'm using is a Moto E second generation. I think it's a 2015. It came with Lollipop operating system with a Lineage, which I installed on the phone. It is using Android version 9, and I have an Android version 10 I can put on this phone with with Lineage operating system. So anyway, these are the apps that I use. It's somewhat private. I'm going to tap on the thing called YouTube, and there's a thing called NewPipe, and there's a thing called YouTube Vanced. Those are two apps. An app, as you know, is a computer program that you can use to do something for you or do things for you on Android. So it's just a computer program that you can use to do things for you using Android. I suppose it's also the same way with Apple products. The next one is browsers. Tor browser, which is the type of browser which you can use. It's pretty much, if you use it right, people cannot track you, cannot track what you do, and things like that. Now the blue one next to it is called browser. That's a not secret browser. You can be tracked. But the reason why I have it here is because banks, at least the bank that I have, and the car insurance provider will not allow Tor browser to be used with them. Okay, not everything allows Tor browser. So I have to use the other browser. At least I haven't figured out how to use Tor browser with the bank and the car insurance yet. But it's very, very useful one because that way you can pretty much have some privacy on the internet. Because otherwise you can be tracked by your internet service provider such as Sprint, um, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, Cricket, and anything else can know everything you do. But with Tor browser, it makes not just them have a difficulty, and for other companies to have difficulty, it also provides those who are snooping, such as the NSA, it makes them have difficulty. And I think the NSA uses Tor browser themselves. Anyway, next one. This is called audio and video. Now, gallery is what I can use to, if I have pictures or if I have videos I want to play. VLC is used for videos and audio that I want to play. VLC, I think, plays a lot of formats of sound, of audio, uh, that some other types of players they can't play. So VLC is very useful for me. Audio FX is just the thing which can modify the output, the sound that I hear. The actual, whether or not it sounds like rock music or R&B music or something like that. Okay, the next one is called modifiers. There's one called Timbre and one called VideoPad and one called Video Compressor. These three apps are used to modify uh, audio files or video files which I have. I can make video files and use these three to modify them. The next one is called Office / PDF. These just deal with Excel files, like Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. Spreadsheets, word processors, PDF files, and the one that has a lock on it that says private notes. notepad or something. That deals with anything you want to put in there that you can just tap on. You can just tap on it. It should go directly. Say you're, let's put it this way. You can use that as a shortcut to go to things on the internet. That as long as you have it stored in private notepad, you can tap on something that you stored in there, and it will go directly to a location on the internet. And that's how I've set it up. So, but you can also put a private notepad under encryption, meaning everything's been modified, and the user has to type in a code to get to the files in the first place. And supposedly, I'm sure it can be cracked. The code can be cracked, but it makes it hard for the average person to crack it. Then we go down the calculator. You know what a calculator is. Clock, settings. These are just settings of the phone and various things. Files. These are files. You can look at your files you have. The green one comes with the Lineage software I installed. The Astro is one which I got off the internet. Both are useful. I find there's somewhat flaws in both, so I got both on the thing here so I can work with one another. I can work with one when another one has a problem. I can use another one which will help me out where the other one couldn't. Anyway, this one's called Games. This is some games. If I ever want to play games using my phone, I have a chess game and I have something like a board game. And at the very bottom, we have a phone icon. The one next to it is a messenger, like a text messenger. It's a text messenger. This one is called Signal. This one is supposedly hard for people to crack and get into your messages. I'm not sure, but I think it makes it hard for the NSA to play with your messages and read stuff, and especially for Google, which would just love your information. They can't get in there, from what I understand. And the next one is a firewall. Okay, we'll get back to that. A firewall is just something that blocks access to access. It provides. I'll show you right now, as a matter of fact. I'll tap it, and we go to AF Wall Plus. What this does is these are all the apps that I have on the phone, and the ones I have checked here are these are checked, and they either I can allow Wi-Fi to be used with these apps, or I can allow data to be used. I mostly just have them set up so data can be used. And these are the only apps that I'm aware of. I think there's some Lineage apps that have access, even though they don't show that they do. But these are the only apps that I installed on the phone that have access to my data. So they can't just use data in the background. They're locked. Everything else is locked out. See, VLC hasn't have any boxes checked. They cannot have access to the internet and use my data or supply some company information from my phone. But they might be able to go through some other app that has access. But it does prevent them to have direct access. Like, see, Astro File Manager has no access to internet. If I go down more, various things like Smart Office has no access. And there's a thing down here that says Root Explorer. I have my phone set up so that I have access to the files of Lineage. I can delete the files of the operating system itself. They call it rooting your phone, getting to the core, the roots of your phone software. Normally, when you buy a phone, that's prevented, but I got certain things set up so I can get into everything. So anyway, let's go back to the main screen. So that's Firewall. The next one is a sound, and it's a sound recorder, and it's a video screen recorder. Right now, I'm using the video screen recorder to record this video. So that's that icon. The last bottom right one is a camera, and it's not bad. I think it comes with Lineage. It has various qualities of picture of the picture and stuff like that. You can take pictures and you can record video. It's a pretty good one. At least does the job for my purposes. So anyway, that's that. And if I swing the screen upwards, I have all the apps that I've put on the phone, and some which came with Lineage. These are all the apps I put on, and like I said, some which came with Lineage. And if I swing it down, um, you can see that there's the various things available. There's a thing called Data Saver in the bottom, like in the right, the blue one that says Data Saver. I had that set up so that it reduces the amount of data that's used, and also it prevents. I think can help reduce how much activity is going on in your phone, which you're not really authorizing. That's being communicated between a tower and your phone. It's unacceptable. You know, it's not your. It shouldn't be just running without your permission. So anyway, we go over here, and what I did is I tapped the settings button. Okay, then I go to here, and then I'm going to tap network and internet right here, and then I'm going to go to data usage. Okay, I'll tap this, and then I'm going to go to app data usage. Okay, then I'm going to. You can see I use a lot of NewPipe, which is just a YouTube downloader. And what I have set up is I'll never mind. I won't go into anything. This goes down further, and there's a thing called Android operating system. Okay, I just clicked it. I'm going to click it again. Go this. That's what happened when I tap Android operating system. It has used 23.4 megabytes this month. This cycle, you know, from beginning of my cycle to where I'm at right now on my service. 23.4. Some people have 1 point something gigabyte. Okay? What I'm trying to say is that Lineage limits the amount of activity on your phone that you're not really allowing. There's a lot of spying and stuff like that, downloading your phone, and various things are going on in most people's phones. But if you set your phone up right, you can end up with having only 40 or 50 megabytes being used by the operating system itself in a whole month, which is questionable if it should be using that much. I haven't figured out how to entirely stop it. But as an Android system, it's both. I guess it goes by its name. It's an Android. It operates by itself. Okay, but I don't really want activity going on that I'm not allowing. But I think, for example, when I use the internet, that Android, I think it works with a browser to obtain information from the internet. So I think there is going to be some use by the Android operating system when one browses on the internet. I didn't quite figure it out because I want the sucker to zero. I don't want. Anyway, that's what's going on here. So I'll get out of this for you. Go back to the main screen, and that's what I have going. In the upper left, it's got various symbols, time, you know, and the upper right, it's got various symbols for various things. And so there's the setup. I highly recommend that you may not have anything to concern yourself with privacy, but at the same time, you're being looked at, and they got everything on you that you ever do with their browsers. They know who you're contacting, when you contacted, where you're at, when you did these things. They know what you wrote. They know your YouTube activities. They know your browser's activities. It's, you know, all the text messaging that goes on, your phone calls, what's on your phone's memory. It's just these computers collect this information, and then they put it into a system and try to predict human behavior in a certain area. They can use that information to predict human behavior in response to into a response to let's say they want to test it and see what happens if a certain candidate wins. How will the general population respond to a certain candidate if that person wins? And they put it into a simulation using the information they gathered from stalking us on our phones, and they try to see if they can predict how people will respond, or how people will respond if a certain candidate is chosen for us to choose from. You see, if they choose a candidate to present to us, so we can choose that candidate, choose that person to vote for. You see, they want to be able. It's total control. Okay, so um, and you shouldn't really have things stored on your phone anyway that you are concerned that people need to stick their nose into. And your desktop at your house, um, I don't even recommend having a connection to the internet to your desktop because when I had one, I swear, I'm looking at my modem. It was just being downloaded and downloaded almost a lot. It was active a lot. They're just downloading the damn thing off my hard drive. Someone was doing this. It was sick. But when I pulled the plug, it no longer was doing that anymore. And besides, my desktop now no longer has anything that they care about anyway. But if you do have anything you're concerned about, you might want to have it in a location where you can easily destroy it, or you don't have it at all. Anyway, because, like I said, it's there's some sick shit going on. I didn't say that, but I'm just going to say it now. So, anyway, that's it. Now, watch how I get out. I swing the screen down. I tap screen recorder.